just a quick run through of what we're going to go through today. We've got 8 tips about the new email and template designers to help you save time building emails. We will go through our product roadmap and then a little bit of time for question and answer. So just a quick reminder of who we are. We are Communicator. We're a strategic email service partner focused on helping ambitious brands optimize their performance across multiple channels. And 8 tips for email building. So you might well be familiar with our new template and email designers. They completely change the way that you can build emails, eliminating the need to deal with code, and that allows you to save a whole host of time in the building and testing process of creating and sending emails. But there are a few tips that might not be immediately obvious to help you make the most of them. So this is what we're aiming to go through right now. So the first tip is you can actually make use of our Google Fonts integration within the builders, which gives you access to hundreds and hundreds of different fonts, which allows you to make sure that you've got the right font for your brand. But it's not immediately obvious how you would pull through all of the fonts. So what you would have to do is, when you've got nothing selected within the builder, you'd head to the Properties tab, and then you can see this page menu, and then you hit the Manage Fonts button, and then that gives you a list of all the fonts that you can add, and they will show up as available when you're in the text editing menu. And then a pro tip on top of that would be to set fallback fonts. Once you've chosen your font, set fallback fonts so that email and clients that don't accept that particular font will show a font close to your chosen font, as opposed to a nasty one that might not be chosen. So, and you would do that by hitting the font order button within the styles tab, and then you can choose them just as the screenshot would show there. So the second tip is all about formatting. You can set global formatting options within the template designer and the email designer, and you can do that first so that all of the areas that you're building keep the same formatting, or you could edit them individually. So this is just a quick reminder to make sure that if you set the global formatting options, you will only have to ever do the formatting once, as opposed to again and again for each individual area of your email. So you can do this by when you've got the canvas selected, and you can see the little canvas icon there, and then you head to the style button tab within the interface, and you can set all of your typography, formatting, and link styles, and then you set that once, and then it uses it across the whole of the email for any individual area that you use. And then also, if necessary, you can override those rules in particular areas where necessary. But doing it this way will save you a lot of time having to redo repetitive elements. So the third tip is about mobile rendering. Our email and template designers build emails responsively by default, which means you don't have to do anything to make your emails responsive, which is a great thing and can save you a lot of time if you were to build mobile responsive emails and templates. But you can use our tool to edit the way your emails view specifically on mobile and make them different to how they would naturally view on desktop. There are a couple of quick manipulative ways within the interface If you select your area, for example, your image or your text element, and hit the Properties tab, there's a little responsive area where you can choose to make something visible or hidden on a mobile device, and then you can also change the width to be 100% or keep it the same. But then there are also more advanced options by using our CSS class list, and you'd add CSS classes by hitting the Style tab, and then you can see the class here. So there's already one predefined in for images, which is to make it responsive, so it resizes to the size of the screen. There are a whole host of other classes that we have available on the help site, but you can use this link as a quick shortener to get those, and that manipulates things like font sizes, image sizes, aligning, and that document on the help site will take you through all of those. So I'd recommend that you take some time to have a look at that. So the fourth tip, you can copy and paste pretty much anything within our template and email designers. And it's pretty simple to do, as you'd imagine, but you can select any element, a text element, image element, whatever, and you can copy and paste those to save you time if you're having to repetitively do the same thing again and again. You can do this by either selecting, then using the Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C and Command-V for Macs, or you can do it in the drop-down for each element. But you can also use the copy and paste tool for entire rows within the builder. So if you have a row with, let's say, 6 different rows in it, 6 different columns in, you can copy and paste all of the elements within those 6 rows just underneath to save you time if you're, again, repetitively building that. So that could cut some real time out of your building process. So the 5th tip is specifically when building templates. You should make sure you style placeholders whilst you're in the builder into the specific style that you want. And if you took notice of the 2nd tip where you're formatting global options, this might not be relevant because you'd have your inherent styling options, but it's just a quick reminder to make sure that you have your placeholders styled in the way that you'd specifically want them, the text that you put in to be styled when you come to building the email in the templated email builder, so that you don't have to do the formatting again and again each time you build the email. It's already done for you. So it's just a quick reminder to check the styling of placeholders whilst you're building the template. So the 6th tip is about making sure that your rendering for Outlook desktop applications is spot on. When adding images into the email or template designers, you get the choice of using pixel width or percentage width, and Communicator will default to percentage width to make sure that if you put images too big into the into your email, it won't break the email. It will resize it by percentage, making sure it's only 100%. And if you use the pixel and it is too big, it might break your email and the rendering would be affected. However, unfortunately, Outlook, the desktop applications, don't accept pixel widths. What that means for you is if you want to improve the rendering in your Outlook, it would be better to make sure that the images that you're inputting aren't bigger than the size of the placeholder or the size of the email, and switching to the pixel width. So when you've got your image highlighted, hit the Properties tab, and then change the percentage to pixel and making sure it's the exact width of the placeholder or the width of the email. And the seventh tip is all about making sure that if your email gets shared socially, and you can place the share social links within the interface, Twitter or Facebook. If those get clicked by a user or recipient, then your image gets shared onto that person's timeline. You can then control what Facebook and Twitter previews once they appear on the timeline to optimize your message. And you can do this by adding metatags. And what you do for this is to head to, when you've got the canvas selected, head to the properties, and then you'll see a manage metatags button. And then you'll get this display here where you would choose from the list what you would like to edit. So you can edit the title, you can edit the image, you can edit the description, and then you would just edit the little text where it says content equals, and where it's highlighted there, that's where you put your message in. And the final tip is just to make sure that you're never limited in your creative options when it comes to using the email or template designers. And what we've done to do that is to make sure that you really can edit anything that you'd like to within these environments. And it's just a quick reminder of how you would go about doing this. So if you're experiencing some difficulties editing your text, there's always the option to switch to the edit HTML function. So if you've got, if you're in a text box, you'll have the properties above, and then the image, the button on the right hand side is the edit HTML, and then that pops up the dialog where you've got your text within the HTML format, so you can edit it as much as you'd like. And then for anything else, you've got the custom CSS option. So when you've highlighted the canvas, hit the properties tab, and then the manage custom CSS button, you get this dialog here where you can add in your own rules to make sure that you can do anything you like with these emails. So that's our 8 tips to using the email and template builders to help save you time. And we just thought we'd take this opportunity also to let you know what's coming up in terms of our product roadmap. So Communicator is here and has always been here to make the process of building emails and sending campaigns much easier. We provide unrivaled technology, and we match that with expert advice so that we can help you get the most out of it. So you've just seen the release of our template and email designers. And then the next release that we have will be all about integrations. So we're currently in the process of writing integrations for Microsoft Dynamics, Magento, and finalizing the Sugar CRM and rewriting our Salesforce integration. So that will be part of our next release. And then the release after that will be something we're calling Smart Templates, which is what I think could become a very useful tool for a lot of you. And what it is essentially the ability to use a template within a template. Now that might sound very simple, but in terms of applying that, it could become very powerful, because the way we see this tool being used is by standardizing the header and footer of every single email that you would send, including the terms and conditions, fonts, things like that. And then this will allow you to standardize those across every email, and then you can edit one to make sure that you've edited every template and then every email off the back of that. So you could be making one change to change all of your emails, which could be hundreds, depending on how many you send. So for larger clients, that could become a really powerful tool, and it will give you the confidence that your entire suite of emails, every email you're sending is up to date branding wise, and also up to date legal wise if you're updating the terms and conditions at the bottom. And then the next release we'll have after that is the templated email builder. So that's the tool within Communicator where you would take a template and populate the placeholders to make it into an email. So we'll be refreshing the UI for that. And that will be the third release from now. And then just slightly after that, we'll be rolling out the dynamic content for that new builder. So during that process, while it's in a phased approach, the classic environment will still be available, and then we'll be looking to switch that off so that everyone can migrate to the new environment. So what are we doing after that point? Well, we've got big plans from then, and what we're doing is developing 4 strategic themes where we would like to then develop the platform, and I'm just going to talk you through those and how we'd like you guys to get involved. So the first area is what we're calling a campaign builder. So currently Communicator, it was developed as a single dispatch tool, but the way the marketplace is turned is marketers send more in campaign styles, which is a series of dispatches all linked together through either behavioral or segmentation and a whole host of other things. So what we would like to do is to rewrite the dispatching area of Communicator to make it far easier for marketers to be able to link together dispatches to create campaigns, to create clever campaigns. So we're currently in the process of thinking about how we can completely reimagine that area of the platform. And then after that, we'll be looking at the statistics and reporting area of Communicator. You can currently get this information from 3 different areas of the platform. We like to bring that into one area to make it much easier for you guys to get the information that you want. We also want to bring more statistics to you, and we want to help you use it, make it easier to use in the way that you report to whoever it is that you report to. And then the third strategic theme we'll be looking at is the data capture area of Communicator. It's probably one of the more older parts of the platform, and we feel there is certainly a lot we could be doing there to help you guys collect more data, the valuable data, so you can help tailor your messaging, personalize it. So we're gonna look at rewriting that entire area. And then the final key theme we're looking at is how we can help increase the integration with social. So any way we can tie up social media and email together, we're going to look at that and see where we can develop that. But the exciting thing is this is where we'd like you guys to get involved. So if you have an opinion on either of the 4 key themes that we're going to look at, we're currently writing the requirements of what we should and shouldn't be building for those things. If you have an opinion, we'd love to hear you. And I would advise you to get in touch with your account manager so we can set up calls with the relevant people. But I would strongly urge you to get involved if you'd like to. So that's enough of the roadmap. There's a couple of frequently asked questions that we get about our current releases, which is the email and template designers. And the first one being, can you edit existing emails and templates within the new environment? Sadly, that's not something that's possible because these new builders completely reimagine the way building happens, and within the drag and drop environment, it's not really possible to go back to old emails and edit them through that. So basically, if you would like to use the new builders, then emails would have to be built with that with these tools. There are options you can look at if you did want to use current emails, in that we can help you rebuild the same thing in the environment, that kind of thing. Feel free to talk that through with your account managers. The next question that we quite often get is, having discussed the product roadmap, we've got the email designer tool that we've released, and then we have a templated email builder that's coming up later. The two are different because the email designer builds full emails from start to scratch. The templated emails takes email templates and then populates them through, populates placeholders to build full emails. So they're two different tools, and they're being, we've just released one and we'll be updating the other one in a couple of releases time. And then the final question is about email rendering. The email designer and template designer sort of take the responsibility away from you about email client rendering, because they write the code themselves. It's impossible to get an email to render perfectly in every single email client, but what we've built our designers to do is to make sure that it hits a solid 90% of the most popular email clients, and the supported ones are on the screen there. But if you have any questions around that, you can pick up with your account manager and we can look at solutions if you have a particular email client that you're not happy with rendering with. You can make sure that you check the content checker, so you can have previews of what an email looks like in all of the popular email clients. And again, talk that through with your account manager if you'd like to improve the rendering in a specific client. That's about it. Thank you for attending. If there have been any questions unanswered within the presentation, we will follow up and answer them accordingly. But thank you for joining.